Welcome back to our 3D Mario review series here on the channel. We're making it a big journey for us to make our way
Hot,
through every
hot in here.
3D Mario game. We started with Mario 64, and we're doing it kind of like every month, every other month. Whenever possible, we'll review another Mario game that month.
hmm
So we're here. Next up, chronologically, is Super Mario Sunshine. This is a game we've both played before.
Oh
Um,
yes.
I played this is probably the one I'm most familiar with inherently. Like I grew up most with it out of the 3D Mario games. So it'll be interesting to actually look at it with a critical eye and review it
hmm
here. As always with our reviews, we start off with something called the gut check, where we're going to hold up our score out of 10 that we're feeling right now coming into the review. And then after we finish our full discussion, we'll have a chance to lock in our final scores and see if it changes or not. All
hmm
right. So let's see what we got. Three, two, one, flip. 8, 7.5.
hmm
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here's the thing with this one is like, so I gave Mario 64 an 8.5 last time.
hmm
I was virgin between 8 and 8.5.
hmm
To me, if I'm like, what Mario game am I gonna play? I'll probably pick Mario Sunshine 9 times out of 10. But I do have a problem giving it a higher score than
Yeah.
that because I think this game perhaps shows its age well, we said this about Mario 64. Mario 64 shows its age the most, but
hmm
Mario Sunshine for its time kind of has some of the least polish comparatively than some of the other 3D Mario games, if
It's
not
it's
all the
interest.
others.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I've always this still remains to be still I think still true. I've always found this to be one of the weaker Mario 3D platformers, if not the weakest. I haven't played all of them. I think the only one that technically the only one I haven't played is one we're going to be getting to in a little bit here.
True.
But um, the yeah, I've always I what this game gets right is the thing that I'm the most nostalgic for, and that's vibes.
That's the exact word I was about to say.
V-
It's the king of vibes.
vibes. This is like the most vibe Mario's ever been, probably. It nails it perfectly. It really makes you feel like you're on vacation.
Beautiful,
Um,
beautiful.
it's a beautiful looking game, and it really gets that feeling down.
Yeah.
Where it unfortunately starts to break down is
When you enter that machine, the Plinko machine, that's where it all
well,
starts.
yeah, it starts to break down there. It starts to break down also when you realize that you you don't actually have much in terms of options for the shines that you have to go for. And what I mean by that is that you have to do the Shadow Mario up to the Shadow Mario level in every single world in order to unlock the final stage.
Yeah.
Um, and given that most of the worlds then also require you to do the secrets stages, which are probably the hardest little bits of the game, aside from stuff like the stupid pachinko level that I hate, and everybody hates. Um, those are for somebody who's not as experienced with it. I played through that game like probably like 4 or 5 times. So this is not I'm not new to this. I did 100% run of this when I got the 3D All Stars collection. So this time around playing through 60 shines or 61 shines, I think is what I ended up, my grand total was at the end.
Yeah, I think I ended up with
Um,
like 70 something is what I went for.
yeah. I just got to the point where I was like, I think I'm gonna just beat the game now. And so I did like the last Shadow Mario one, and I was like, do I need any more? I know that's all I need technically, but and then it was like, oh, Delfino Plaza's flooded. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna beat the game now.
Yeah.
So I think every world has a lot of fun things to do in it, in most of them, but I think they can be very restrictive in terms of like you have to go for the shine that you pick the mission for, which is a freedom that, or it's a little more restrictive in comparison to Mario 64. Which is like fine because that allows them to structure each level a little bit differently. Like there's different enemies that show up in different scenarios that you pick, or episodes, I guess is what they call them. And so that's fine because then like that gives them as the game designers, it gives them a little bit more control over like what you experience and stuff.
Yeah.
Which some levels of Mario 64 had that as well, but but because of that, it really locks you into having to. You can't pick and choose what levels you like to do. Like it'd be like, oh well, I really like Peanut Park, so I'm gonna do all the stuff there. It's like, well, no, you do then have to go back to say you don't like the Pianta Village. Well, you have to do you still have to do all those in order to beat the game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the one I think is definitely a flaw in the game, especially because like it's in terms of Mario platformers, I say this game tends to be at times fairly forgiving, but I would say at times also a little bit more punishing than it, especially for the time period. It's a little bit more punishing than even other Mario platformers, I would say, which makes it, I think maybe that's part of the appeal for some people, but I think that can be kind of seen as a weakness when it's like you're sort of alienating a little bit of your audience when you're forcing them to do things when you've opened it up in a certain way that like, yeah, feel free to go do wherever, but it's like, no, but you still have to do every single one. Like you can't really pick and choose. So
Yeah. To me, that's not as big a deal as what detracts from me is just the general lack of polish. In that, like on paper, it doesn't feel like you're playing a 3D Mario game, which has some level of prestige to it, especially now. You expect a certain quality to it.
So you're talking about like glitches? Because there's
like,
a lot of glitches.
Yeah, like it's pretty janky. There's like some
there's
jank to a lot of the situations, and there's glitching around. And it gets stuck and stuff, and like
yeah.
it's like it's always been like a black sheep type. But that's why I've always loved the GameCube is they're very experimental this time. Mario Sunshine is like the most different from the 3D Mario games. We lose out on some movement options in terms of like long jump and backflip, or like the crouching backflip.
Yeah,
but they
so
sub in Flood, obviously,
right,
which is yeah.
And Flood is great. Flood is great for the movement options. The unfortunate thing is because those secret levels take Flood away, you don't then have access to. You have to like really have mastered down. Like you have to know what your range is in terms of a jump. You have to know how to wall jump correctly. You have to like really nail down Mario's movements. And Mario will just like he just kind of like, and this was the case of Mario 64 as well, but I would say even more so in Mario Sunshine. He'll just like, boom, he's going. Oh my god, look how fast he's going! I barely control him.
Like there's no
He's
subtlety. It's
so,
like ooh, sprint, yeah.
It's just like he feels almost like Sonic in a weird way. It's just like he's just going. You tilt the control stick and it's like boom, there he goes. Oh my god, I can. Oh, and now I fell off the edge.
Yeah, and I've always enjoyed the secret levels too. First of all, the music, the acapella, like do 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 do
do do do do do do.
So I've always been here for them. Even though the world is weird. Like shit just happens in this world. Like you just go into like a cave, and then Shadow Mario takes your Flood away, and now you're just jumping on random platforms. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's like a secret, but okay.
It is kind of interesting because there's a weird. I mean, lore. Not that Mario lore is all that important, but it's interesting that like there's a lot of weird like unexplained,
inexplicable
stuff.
Inexplicable
stuff. Because like most of the other games have their own little weird internal logic. Mario 64, you jump into paintings and you're entering these different like sections, areas of different
Mhm.
Mushroom Kingdom offshoots. Like, oh, Bob-omb battlefield. Okay, well, it's just a portal to that area of a kingdom that's somewhere else. Um, so it is that in and of itself is just like it's a simple like lore thing, quote unquote, but it's like it's just an easy to explain gameplay sort of thing. It's like that's how you access the levels. This is like kind of similar. Like Shadow Mario has like made these portals to
Yeah.
different areas of Delfino Island, so that's how you access that with the paintbrush. So it's like okay, that's fine. Or you shoot into a cannon to go to Peanut Park. That's the there's that one. Um, but yeah, then these other ones are just you enter a warp pipe and you're like, oh my god, you're in this like nightmarish zone
Yeah.
that then transports you to like something that's referenced like the background is referencing an old Mario level of some kind.
Mm.
Um, mostly Yoshi's Island, which is interesting.
You ride
Or
the boat and jump up into a ceiling, and now you're in a
yeah,
pachinko machine,
yeah.
or 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 you bust through the police station, and now you're sliding down this huge ramp.
You're just going down this ramp. And
Big,
it's like a beautiful sky, and it's like okay.
or you go into Gelato Beach, and they got weird shit going on there too. You go
Yeah.
in to see this freaking sand bird. You're riding on a huge
You
bird
jump
made out of sand blocks. Like,
and it's flying around. It's flying around like a tower that feels like it's more in place in Mario 64 than it is
yeah.
in yeah.
So a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
The voice acting is objectively horrible.
It's the worst. It's so bad.
It's weird. Like
It's
the mixing is also just very odd.
yeah.
It's like weirdly the volume level is weird, and then it's just like objection. Like
Yeah.
it's
Overruled. It's when Mario is
yeah.
look this horrible mess
And
that's
it's
been
like,
made.
and then you even have moments where the characters are talking, and then there's like the music's like way too loud for it,
Mm.
and like Peach even sounds like really dumb. It's like,
She just says
no, she's the one who says objection, overruled.
yeah, overruled.
Like some kind of court system we got going on here, and we're in the
Yeah.
black void, like being
Yeah,
sentenced.
there's so much of the game that does not feel finished, and that's among one of them.
Yeah, I think
And
it
I
was
think
rushed, right?
yeah, it was rushed. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think well, that's why they had to. I think there was actually a plan for a legitimate ice level at some point, and that just never made it into the game. Um, so there's like yeah, there's that's actually another criticism I have for the game. Even though it delivers on vibes, there is kind of a distinct lack in terms of variety in terms of what you're doing. I think the most variety you get is probably from the is probably from um oh I don't remember the beach name, but it's the hotel
Sirena Beach.
level. Sirena Beach. That probably off that Pianta Village and oh, what's the other one I'm thinking of? I mean, I guess some of them they offer variety in terms of like the general vibe, but like they all still feel like it is a tropical setting, beach setting. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, okay, it's village, a little different, but you got two villages. They give different vibes, but they're still kind of the same. The beaches feel kind of the same, but you get a ghost house, which is I think is very funny. I think the what they do with the ghost house is a lot of fun because it's just they're tormenting guests in a hotel. Like that's I don't know. There's just something that's inherently very funny about
Yeah.
that to me. Um, the because it's just like a play on the ghost houses from Mario World. Yeah, I don't know. There's just there. It feels like it's just missing something. The fire world, the fire world, I guess is Pianta Village. I guess is the closest thing you could come to that.
Yeah.
Or the last stage of the game, which sucks. Corona Mountain is horrible, and I hate it. It's it's not like the biggest criticism in the world because it's still fun because it does again it delivers on the feeling if you're on vacation. You get an amusement park, you have like a vibey beach. Oh, the Anoki Bay is the other one that's really different. That one I think that and Rico Harbor might be my favorite levels in the game.
I like how
Um,
Noki Bay. It's just like sometimes you're in Noki Bay and sometimes you're just jumping in a bottle to go underwater. Like
yeah,
sometimes you're just
actually,
going into
yeah.
a bottle.
Yeah, actually, that is kind of a weird thing about Noki Bay. Is that like basically all the episodes are like just variations on the exact same thing in
But it's
that
all
one.
weird
So
shit. Like you're giving this
yeah,
eel like a dental work with your flood.
yeah, because its decaying mouth is what's causing the poison
Yeah,
in the bay.
sure, sure.
Okay, all right. It's not paint this time. It's just a decaying mouth. All right.
But I have a great fondness for this game. You know, it's the most nostalgic for me, and
Hmm.
um, there's a lot of stuff I like. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to criticize as well. I do like the different areas generally. I like the music. I do like
Hmm.
Flood, and that there are some movement options with Flood. They're kind of fun. You can like spray ahead of you and then dive onto it to do a fast slide.
Yeah, let's talk about Flood a little bit more because I think we've sort of maybe undersold. Flood is the gameplay wise. I mean, it's the basis of the whole game, really. A water backpack that you can use to clean up the paint that's all around the whole world. Um, it's just how you interact with various things. It's your interact, but you have all kinds of different movement options with it in addition to just your normal nozzle, like you were saying. There's also the hover nozzle, which allows you to sort of like do a lot of really fun acrobatic stuff. Actually, you do like a spin jump to a wall jump to using the hover. You can like really like get a lot of like height out of your jump, which is something that like I didn't really get the fun feel of that kind of like movement options until Mario Odyssey. So in a sense, um, Sunshine kind of has a lot of really cool like tech that you can kind of utilize to move around the world. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they do have a couple other nozzles as well, which I think are very underutilized. Like
Rocket, I love the rocket, but
like
yeah, turbo is like never used at all.
turbo,
Like,
you never need to use it. Rocket nozzle, you need to use it for like one
yeah,
shine, pretty much. Other than that, you
hmm
don't need it, and you
yeah,
rarely are given an opportunity to use it. So it seems weird. Like those are kind of half baked to me. Those either like they could have fleshed him out more or just not had him at all.
mm,
But yeah, generally Flood's a lot of fun. Like you can when you're spraying, you can hit X and kind of go over the shoulder, which is helpful for a lot of like the bosses and stuff where you have to aim the nozzle in a
hmm
specific way. And yeah, it's just generally it's fun. I like hovering, being able to cross horizontally long distances, or like from building to building type thing.
hmm
But I do.
Um,
There's like in Mario Galaxy and a lot of the Mario games, the long jump is like one of the best, one of my favorite things to do. And it's like you
yeah.
kind of miss doing that kind of thing, but
Mm.
still fun.
Another thing I was thinking about Flood. Oh, one feature that I'm really glad they patched in to the 3D All Stars um, pack is the GameCube controller support. So the analog triggers
Hmm.
of the GameCube controller. I think it's something small, it's something simple, but I think it's something that is really cool and is really nice. Is that like depending on how much pressure you're putting down on the trigger is how hard um that
Yeah,
you're shooting out water. Um, and there's one is like in addition to that, which is also another fun thing. There's also lots of like not like secret or advanced, but it's like it's more like stuff that you can just generally do, like putting out like a ton of water in one go.
like
If
hold
it's
an
like
R and hit A. Yeah, like little
yeah,
splash. Yeah,
yeah, you get like a splash like that. You can kind of you can spin on the ground. If you rotate the controller, you can spin on the ground and put out a bunch of water. And then if you then hit A,
Yeah,
it's the same thing as if you do a spin dump. So you can like put out a ton of
that's
water in like a
crucial for
huge
like the
area.
manta ray level.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
which is like one of those like infamous people always say how hard it is. The
Mm,
where you have to spray all the little silhouettes on the ground and Serena Beach.
yeah. Because those things are brutal.
But
Those things will just combo you
yeah,
basically to
but if you
kill
use
you.
that spray
Mm,
and the spin, that covers so much.
yeah.
The game is like second nature to me. Like I got back into it and I like tore through this game like in
I
a
did too.
week.
I beat it in like 3 days.
Yeah,
And I'm not exaggerating. I beat it in like 3 days.
yeah. I
I
beat
was
it
like,
like
yeah.
3 days into the month. Like when we had this month to play it,
Yeah.
so I kind of had to go back in a little bit more
Mm.
across the month. But so, what about Yoshi? What do we think of Yoshi in this game?
Severely underused.
Yeah,
You don't I don't even think you need to use him for like I think I used him twice, I think to get shines. You don't need him hardly at all. You need him for like specific small things in sort of like select
and
levels.
like
So like you need
Delfino
him
Plaza, you need him. You have to go on the little boat and go to the island and eat the
if
pineapple and it's
and
the whole
do
thing.
the probably I would say other than Pachinko is also the objectively worst shine
The
in the whole
lily
game.
pads.
Yeah, those are horrible. Well,
Yeah.
it's because you have to use the stupid flood control where you have to like.
Hmm.
Yeah, I hate that. That's what they use the boat in Corona Mountain. Then it just messes with your brain trying to move it around because you're like basically using it as a propulsion. But then you have to like turn around and slow yourself down. But then if you angle yourself wrong, you still will push yourself into the into like the wall and destroy it. And it's like, oh
But
no,
Yoshi
yeah,
just became annoying to me because whenever you have to do
yeah,
stuff around water, you land in water once. Like, oh shoot, now I gotta go get find the fruit again to get Yoshi out of the egg.
yeah. Yoshi not being able to swim is just like I don't really get it. Other than for like that specific shine, what's really the point of that?
Right? It's like literally the. I don't know, I think it's literally like a meme that they're going for. Like, oh,
Yeah,
Yoshi, he can't swim. You know.
the Yoshi of Delfino can't swim or something. I don't
But
know. Isle Delfino Yoshi can't swim
because it's so
somehow.
annoying because there's like the one. Obviously, that was the whole basis of having to be stuck on the boat in this like little limited movement.
Mm,
Because otherwise, if you could swim, you could just go over there. But it's
yeah,
so annoying. Like you miss one jump and then you have to start the whole thing over. Or there was one part in Rico Harbor where you have to do like make the platforms out of the fish,
uh huh.
and that I messed up a couple times. I had to keep freaking getting Yoshi
I
again.
didn't see. I didn't even do those because I was like, man, I don't have the patience for that. I'm not even gonna bother. So
Yeah.
thankfully, those were optional.
Hmm.
Um, but that's what I mean. Where it's like he's kind of underutilized, and then yeah, and then when you times that you use him, it just ends up being kind of annoying. Which
And the spray is crazy though. The
oh yeah, where he's like he's spewing juice out from his somewhere. It's like, oh, Yoshi has a juice meter. What the hell is this?
yeah,
Where'd
and
that come
the
from?
sound is just crazy. It's
Yeah, it's like, oh, geez. Freaking Yoshi, what the hell? What are you doing?
It's like,
What are you?
okay. You can get like a huge amount of horizontal movement with him though if you do the spin jump
Oh
and then
yeah,
take he's like
yeah, and then
It's like,
use the flutter kick. You can
yeah.
also jump super high with the triple jump with him too. Um,
But
but
okay, I want to talk about a couple of the more infamous levels that people point to as some of the worst for Mario
mhm,
Sunshine. You
mhm,
mentioned briefly the pachinko machine.
yeah,
How bad is it? Did you play
it's
it
pretty
this
bad.
time?
I did. I wanted to give it a
Yeah, I wanted
go.
to make sure to get that in.
Yeah, because I was like I gotta give it a go. I gotta try it at least once. Like because I was like I don't know, who knows, maybe this time I'll do it. And I did it for like a couple minutes and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good.
I saw it
I'm all
through.
set.
I felt a commitment to see it through, just
Yeah.
to have it fresh in my mind how the experience is. And it
Mm,
really is horrible. And what's horrible about it is if it was just the pachinko machine, that would be fine. but it's the fact
Yeah.
that when you jump up and launch yourself, the momentum and the physics of it are all
Yeah.
fucked up. Like you can't go back. It's like almost like you're hitting an invisible wall at
Yeah.
certain points, and it's like you can't like actually maneuver the way you want to.
Right. Not at all.
So a lot of times it ends up scuffed, and you end up
Yeah.
fucked.
Trying to get like the bottom left corner red coin is
Yeah,
like the biggest pain in the ass to try to get to. It's so awful to try to get to.
yeah,
And
because
then when you get all the coins, then you have to make sure that you get in the middle. And if you screw that up,
yeah.
you have to do the whole thing over again.
Because if it just operated under the same physics of the regular game, it would be fine. But it has this weird motion to it, so where when you get up
Yeah.
past the starting point, it launches you forward for no
Yeah.
reason, and so you try to go back. I try to hover back, and it's giving me no movement.
Yep.
And
You
it's,
can't.
yeah,
You can't do
it's
it.
rough. It's just a really poorly designed level.
Yeah.
The other one people point to is the Watermelon Festival in Gelato Beach,
Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yes.
which was a pain in my ass. I saw
Yeah.
that one through too, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
like
Yeah.
this.
Did you have to get the one that's all the way at the top, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to roll that down and not accidentally roll it off the bridge.
And you can't hit like the cataquacks will fuck it up.
Yep.
You have to maneuver around them, so you have to keep stomping the cataquacks most of the time to get through. And then it's like very fragile. I don't know why there's like a watermelon that's a freaking like a beach ball consistency that pops instantly. I don't know what's even going on here, but because they make it seem like it's just this is a watermelon. This is a watermelon in
Yeah.
this world, but it gets tapped the wrong way once and it pops and coin pops out. Like
Yeah. It's like, what?
so it's really annoying. It's very stressful when I finally got it up to the bridge just to make sure I actually got
Yeah.
it across and fuck it up.
And then just like grinds it up in the big juicer, and then you get a shine from it. And like,
For
okay.
no reason. What's going on here? I think it's kind of fun the shines that instead of stars, it's like the one that's like also unique to this game. You're getting shine sprites.
Yeah, it's kind of thing that. Well, that's why I'm glad they again with we'll obviously talk about when we finally get to that game. But
Mhm.
Mario Odyssey also did something a little different there with moons, and that's something that
I thought you were gonna mention the Bowser's Fury cat shines.
there's cat shines. Yeah,
Shines.
that's true. That's true. They do have shines in that game. Yeah, but it's fun seeing like other little shapes and fun things from Mario games. But stars are power stars are going to always be kind of the typical thing to be expected. But
So yeah, there's a couple. Those are the two most infamous. People say the Manta Ray levels as well, but I've really kind of like
yeah.
locked
I
that
like
level
that
down.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that level a lot. I appreciate the challenge that it provides.
yeah,
Because if you kind of nail it down, if you lock yourself down in one specific spot for at least the beginning, and then you boldly are able to, you can navigate your way through if you're just careful enough. So
it again
Yeah.
doesn't make any fucking sense. Like what, these silhouette manta rays. I don't know what these are,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
they leave a physical goop trail, electric goop trail on the surface, but they're like
Yeah.
seemingly like below or a silhouette. It's very weird.
yeah, that's weird, especially because like, so are they magic things that were made by Bowser Jr.?
Who knows?
Or are they? Yeah, it's like some of this stuff is just like what here is like naturally occurring. What's Bowser Jr. I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. It's just for fun, but
And when you go in the hotel, there's a whole lot of weird stuff going on in there. When you go
Yeah.
through all the rooms and shit, it's like
freaking King Boo is running a secret roulette down in the basement.
Yeah, you have a whole casino going on underneath the hotel that has weird stuff going on there.
Oh
What-
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
scuff stuff in the
like the tiles.
yeah. You're talking about scuffed the tiles.
flipping them. This right.
Oh god, you have to
It's
just get
also
just right.
it's also jank.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
then
much jank.
when you start spraying, you sort of have to get one in the middle and you spray, and then the spray goes everywhere, and it like fucks it.
Great, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think is? Do you have one in mind that's the best, like all around area, like Rico Harbor, Sirena Beach, Pianta Village?
I think the one that offers my favorite variety of levels, I think is It's tough because like every time I think of a level, I'm like, it's this level, and then I'm like, oh, well, that has that one shine that's really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I think I actually like Gelato Beach maybe the most. Um,
Okay.
and it's one thing that I was really kind of thinking about and kind of appreciating this time as I was playing it is that I do like how each episode does like take into account everything that you've sort of done in the previous one. So, for example, Gelato Beach first is building the sandcastle thing, which is like fine. Then the next is sort of like your introduction to it, to the Cataquacks, which are extremely weird enemies, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next thing that you do is, they're attacking the sandbird egg. They're trying to keep it from hatching. So then you have to attack those things, the ones that are on the solar panels. So you do that. Next level, you've saved the sandbird, so it's able to hatch, and then you have to go do the thing on the sandbird that we talked about.
That's kind of a pretty scuffed level too, or like it's annoying.
That is annoying, very annoying. But then after that, what is it after that one? I'm trying to remember.
Is that the one where the solar panels is after that?
No, that was the one before
Or
the.
Piantissimo probably showed his head at some point as well.
Yeah, Il Piantissimo shows up.
And then Shadow Mario and what else?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think because there's something that happens that is then like then it's like, oh, then you have to attack, then you fight Wiggler, and that makes
Yes.
there's some reason why Wiggler shows up that I thought was like, oh, this actually kind of makes sense for one of the previous things that you did, but I'm not remembering what it was now.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. Oh, I know, because Wiggler was the thing that was attacking the sand egg. Wiggler was around the sand egg. So then you knock Wiggler off.
That's right.
Then that's the one you do next. You have to fight Wiggler. Yeah, he was sleeping on it, and then you disturb his sleep, and then the next level is fighting Wiggler, basically. Then it's the Sandbird. Then it's like Il Piantissimo and Shadow Mario. But I kind of like how there is like a legit progression in terms of like sort of each level. And it's the same kind of thing that goes around with. I mean, yeah, like I said, like pretty much every level in the game has like a little bit of a continuous narrative in each sort of world, and I think that's fun. I like that a lot. I think I like the overall narrative of Noki Bay the most, because it's like, oh, you're trying to solve the poisonous area here. It's like this very secluded secluded area of the island, because it's like up on the back of the dolphin, basically. So you can't. So it's like the one level in the game that you can't really see from anywhere else, where you can see. And this is another thing that I think is really cool about the game, is that you can physically see other areas of the island from depending on what world you're in. So on Gelato Beach, you can actually see the hotel, you can see Rico Harbor, you can see Delfino Plaza. And the same sort of goes with a bunch of the other ones. From like Rico Harbor, you can see a bunch of the other places. So yeah, I think that's super cool.
Gelato Beach, you think? For me,
yeah, I think I like the general variety. I think the most in that one.
To me, Rico Harbor has kind of always stood out as one I enjoy the most.
Rico Harbor, I think, is probably a close second.
And the music just slaps.
The music is really, really good there. Yeah.
Also weird. You're just randomly racing on the
bloopers.
On bloopers.
Yeah.
What is kind of lame about Rico Harbor, or no, not just Rico Harbor, but about the game, is they have that big blooper, and they just recycle him in Noki Bay for a later level too.
For basically no reason.
And it's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So what do we think about the little fixtures we have in each one, which are Shadow Mario and Il Piantissimo? I find it funny that Shadow Mario, sometimes if you hit him right, he'll be done in like 10 seconds flat.
You can. So in the speed run, you can they take care of him in like a second, basically. It's really funny
because depending on how you do your run, like how well it goes, it's like sometimes he doesn't even get to like the first jump, and it's like, oh wow, that was a fun Shadow Mario for that world. Really got to have fun there.
Um, Il Piantissimo is like just lamer Koopa the Quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. It never felt like there's any legitimate challenge with any of them.
No.
Maybe it's just because I. Here's the thing. I fully admit that I'm experienced with the game, so it may simply have to do with the fact that I played the game a lot of times. So
Hmm.
it could be some of that, um, but like most of them feel just really generous. Whereas like Koopa the Quick, especially I think the second one that you have to do with him, because the first one's Bob on Battlefield, but then I think it's you have to race him to the in Tiny Huge Island, and that one's brutal because you can fall off. You're actually in danger of falling off the edge like a few places in that one.
Yeah.
This one is like you race to the top of the tree in Pianta Village and race to the top of the hill in Gelato Beach, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Il Piantissimo hater, but
This
he's you know
he's like it's
I
like
think
filler.
I do think it's kind of funny that he's just like a normal guy that's clearly in a Pianta costume.
Yeah,
I think
it's very
that's very
weird.
funny. It's just like
Another thing I will give Mario Sunshine is it does give us some interesting character designs and gives birth to the iconic Piantas. I love those Piantas,
Piantas are wonderful. I actually like
and I
them a
love that
lot.
they transferred. It was like they were GameCube era characters essentially. They transferred
Hmm.
over to Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. There were a lot of fun there, and then they were in like a couple of the Mario sports games. Like they were in Mario
I was gonna say,
Baseball.
were they in any Mario parties or anything like
No.
that? Did they ever show up in? That's amazing because one of them, I think, isn't Mario Party 6 like on a cruise ship? Mario Party 7 might be on
Hmm.
a cruise ship. So that's crazy
Yeah,
that Piantas didn't show up in
I
that.
think he maybe they were on Mario Superstars Baseball. They
Yeah.
maybe were Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii also, but then they weren't in
Hmm.
anything after that. So they just like retired. These Piantas, icons of the GameCube era. But you get the little Nokis, a lot of
Mhm.
weird MFers you run into. Shadow Mario. But
Oh, I like the sunflower people that you save in
yeah.
Yeah, wasabi.
Yeah.
I love Toadsworth just goes yada blah 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 blah
Blah,
when you
blah,
talk.
blah. Yeah. How about so Pinna Park? Another
Mhm.
annoying one for me is the one on rails roller coaster spraying the balloons. That
Oh,
is
the balloons is like I hate that
it
level.
took me
I
so many
didn't do it.
tries. Just like
Yeah.
it's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't like that one. Another Peanut Park one that I've always found annoying because the damn camera never being right is the one that you have to go behind the Ferris wheel
Mm-hmm.
and you have to attack the I don't remember what they are called. I don't remember their name, but they're essentially spinies that have electric abilities, or they have electric shells.
Yep.
But the camera just refuses to work right in that space, and it's just very like it just
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's a lot of moments like that where it's a little
Hmm.
awkward, and there's some fun, weird, random shines you can collect all around like Delfino Plaza. And even like in Pianta Village, there's that one where you go to the top and you spray the sun, and it gives you a shine spray. It's very
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
And
yeah. I like the one that I like going and getting is it's super easy in Gelato Beach. There's like one of those flowers that you spray,
hmm
and it creates like this pit, and you just spray the wall in the pit, and that there's a shine
yeah,
spray in there. And it's like, oh, that's cool.
I think Pianta Village is generally pretty fun. I think they do some like fun little creative ideas in there, like the way they had everything covered in lava and how you had to
Mm.
navigate around.
To get to flood basically.
Yeah.
I actually that was to me that was a lot of fun because it took the idea of what they typically do in the secrets and they applied it to an actual level. So it's like, oh, you do feel like really powerless without flood, but there's still stuff for you to do. There's still ways that you can navigate around the world. So yeah, I like that level because a a fun challenge I think is what I would consider it. So
Yeah, I mean, and Delfino Plaza is just it's a pretty iconic hub world. I think lots of fun little secrets you can do, and it's fun. I actually didn't do it this time, but it's fun that you can go back to like the Delfino airstrip.
oh
There's a
yeah
bunch to
yeah
do there too.
yeah
Are there any other levels we didn't talk about too much? The initial one was it Bianco
yeah
or Bianco
Bianco
Hills?
Hills. Yeah,
It's pretty standard. You do see get PD Piranha from that as well.
that's right. He shows up. You fight him twice
Hmm.
in that level. It pop his navel.
Yeah,
That's
that's
rough.
crazy.
This is
Crazy. Pinna Park, I'll say, as much as like it's you have fun worlds and stuff,
mm.
some of them feel a little empty to me. Like Pinna Park has always felt like weird. Like
I mean how like nobody's actually using the rides
yeah,
or
and some of the rides like don't even seem like they would be feasible to use.
yeah
Like the one is the is the freaking boat, but like
yeah
the boat ride that you have nothing to hold on to. Like just
yeah.
it's
It's
just
like
the most
oh so
dangerous thing.
this will just kill you. Okay.
Yeah, just stuff like that is a little weird.
mm.
But personally, Mario Sunshine is like my go-to when I think of like a 3D Mario I would love a sequel to, a direct sequel. I think there's like a lot of good they could do with a more refined Mario Sunshine and just the same vibe and like vibrant world
Yeah.
stuff. I would love it.
So another thing that we haven't really talked about, but is another thing that I don't like about the game, blue coins.
Yeah.
Blue coins are they're a fine collectible, but when they're essentially replacing like 40 stars or however many,
Yeah.
um, you there's like 400 of them. I don't remember the exact number. I don't know if it's 400. There's a lot of them though, and essentially replaces stars in every single level.
Yeah, they are annoying. They are
They're
annoying.
very especially annoying if you're going for 120 shines because like
Yeah.
you have to like keep track of how many you get in each level, sort of.
Yeah, it's like
Like
yeah,
yeah,
there's no easy way to track them very well, and
yeah,
then they're in just weird places sometimes. Um, yeah,
yeah.
not
I think the
ideal.
menu. I think the sort of menu sort of like says how many. I think it says how many you've gotten in each world. But the problem with that is that there are some blue coins that you can only get in certain episodes, and
Yeah, yeah,
you can't tell that.
that's true.
Most of the time, like I would say most of them you can get in pretty much any episode, but some of them are like only in certain ones where it's like, oh, that's lame and frustrating.
Yeah, yeah. I think the vibes are immaculate here.
mm,
It's like perfect summertime game, where you want to just
yeah.
feel like you're on vacation and just having fun out with the clear water.
Yeah, the water looks really nice. I remember the water always being that was a big thing of the GameCube, is that the water effects always look good. You got Wave Race, you got Pikmin has a lot of really beautiful looking water. You got Mario Sunshine that has really nice looking water. Star Fox Adventures has some nice looking water. There's not a lot of it in the game, but whenever it shows up, it looks pretty good.
Wind
Metroid
Waker.
Prime has decent looking water. Wind Waker's got very stylish water, but
Yeah,
it's cool. Looks nice. Um, yeah, GameCube and water, yeah, they go hand in hand.
yeah,
I guess that's why they call it that was why it's codenamed Dolphin. There you go.
yeah. For real, that's like the theming of the
Yeah.
whole system. Anything
So,
else? Anything else for Mario Sunshine? There's so much.
um,
Like,
yeah, there's a lot more we could go into. I mean, we didn't talk so much about Bowser. So they're really leaning into Professor Egad in this also because Egad not only created Flood, but he also created the paintbrush that
mm-hmm,
Bowser Jr.
mm-hmm.
has. Egad, why did you create this paintbrush, and why did you give it to him? I guess he stole it. I think he said he stole it from a crazy old man or something. But it's like,
And
what what the hell are
yeah,
you
it's
doing?
weird. Some weird canon going on here.
Oh yeah,
And the fact,
Mama Peach.
yeah, that's disturbing. We have to
Yeah,
sit him down and have that conversation. Like,
I think we have to set Peach down and have a conversation. Like, you do what? You do realize that, like, that he couldn't be your son, right?
that's yeah.
I'm your mama. It's like, no. What? Why are you saying it like that?
Bowser's like, yeah, like the whole scene towards the end when Bowser and's talking and like they just all sound awful. It's just like,
Mario, how dare you disturb my family's vacation? And then he uses like the normal like Bowser roar, and I'm like, oh, now he sounds normal again. Okay.
What's going on here?
Oh, I always like kind of laugh at the stupid sounding music that plays during the scene with Bowser Jr. and Bowser at the end.
Yeah.
Junior, I have something difficult to tell you. But it's just like, what is this? Koji Kondo was having maybe a little too much sake at the time or something. I don't know what's happening, but everybody was having a good time with that soundtrack, though. I will say,
Yeah,
it's
true.
a pretty wonderful soundtrack.
Yeah, and there's so
Even
many.
though the that's the most, it might be the most disrespectful death thing in a Mario game. It's just
It's
like, wow.
infuriating. It is.
Oh yeah, bum 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 ba da 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 ha 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 ha. If you ever get if you get a game over,
This game is surprisingly not very generous with lives too.
not at all.
Like,
No, this
like you get screwed so often.
there's some. One thing I find is nice that there are some secrets that give you like multiple 1-ups and they always respawn. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm
Exactly.
I'm gonna use that to collect some more.
Exactly. I love so many weird things in this game. Like, I'm a chuckster.
Yeah.
Just launches you. Like, what's going on here? There's a funny video that I saw that was like he has like a few videos on this kind of idea where he's like, what's the unemployment rate in Delfino Plaza? And he like goes around like trying to deduce like how many of them have jobs and not. And it's like, well, this guy is just running around like with a backpack on, like the guy is like on fire.
Yeah, he's on fire all the time. Yeah. There's one guy who literally gives away sunglasses for free.
Yeah.
He must be the wealthiest man in Isle Delfino.
Also,
he doesn't even have to try.
That kind of annoys me because like I want to have the little outfit on him, but the game just doesn't look as good when you put them on.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're just dulling the vibrant colors. So
Yeah, they gave Mario a T-shirt in this game.
little shine sprite
His
shirt and shades.
Well, that's his Delphinian
Yeah.
shirt. Well, I was actually talking about the fact that they do cut his red shirt is also cut.
Ugh.
They gave him a short sleeve work shirt in this game as well. He's on vacation.
On vacation, yeah.
And Peach has a sleeveless dress as well. Oh, one other small thing I wanted to mention was another thing that I think they did really well. The heat effects to sort of like, I don't know if it was necessarily done to hide maybe like maybe not loading zones, but to hide like draw distances or something. But the heat waves were done like super well. Like it really did. Again, it fits in. It adds to the vibes of like, yeah, you're on this hot summer beach. Boom, yeah, here you are. You're out in the beach and it's just warm and pleasant. So, yeah.
Yeah. I like when Toadsworth's like, look, princess, look on the statue's head. Mario?
Yeah. And then he like does that weird tongue thing. And I'm like, what the hell? What is going on in this game?
Absolute idiots. Like this dude's like made of water. Like, he looks nothing like him. Is like you can't tell that you literally the complete
for
color difference.
for crying out loud, at least Shadow at least looks kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog. He's just colored differently.
Like everybody bought it hook, line, and sinker. The judge, the cops, everybody criminalized
Do
this
you
man.
do you kind of wish that the game maybe spent a little bit more time, like not more time, but like it feels like it sort of abandons the whole like you have to clean up the island, Mario. Like that's basically abandoned from like the get-go almost.
Yeah, because you kind of clean it up pretty quickly, and then
Yeah.
it's like now you're just doing shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I guess I don't know how you would expand that more, but like I don't know. There's just that feels just like such a half-baked idea. It's like look at this horrible mess that he's done. And it's like, but
and we're just
okay,
gonna
but
and we're gonna
like,
give you complete free reign to do this. By the way, there's
yeah,
nothing keeping you here.
right.
You have a fucking jetpack that you can blast off with.
Hey,
No
you
one's
take that
ever, no Pianta's ever catching your ass.
yeah, considering Flood's turbo feature, if you're on water, it has an endless supply.
Yeah, I'm out
It's
of here.
somehow it's just you're just done. You're just out. You can just go wherever you want in the world.
Yeah,
So,
they're lucky that Mario did you a favor. Stuck
mm,
around. Idiots, absolute idiots, brain dead population.
well, if I guess if Mario had come across the turbo nozzle if before he encountered Bowser Jr., he probably would have been gone. He probably would have just left. He's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. But please, I would love Mario Sunshine too. I think it would be an iconic.
it, I think especially now with modern technology, if it's been given more time, maybe build out like Delfino, maybe build out Pianta culture a little bit more. You could have like different like
kick-ass different worlds for real. Yeah.
yeah, you could really kind of get you could still have like island vibes, but you could really explore different like concepts for islands, I
Dude,
think.
you can even be
So,
meta about it. There could be like a whole like influx of like tourism because of
oh
like
yeah.
Mario's impact,
Yeah,
and it's like
that could
it
be
could be like a
fun.
whole like bustling area. It could be its own spot, like
Mm,
marketplace and whatnot. I don't know. There's a lot they could explore there, and it's like they dip into the shine element in Bowser's Fury. It's
mm,
like they're embracing that part of it. I don't know. It's like shades of it,
hmm.
but I don't think we'll ever get it. But just fun to think about.
Yeah, so especially because like what Power Stars seem to be just kind of they don't necessarily have like a will, but like Shine sprites indicate that they're guardian spirits. They say of Isle Delfino, so they seem to have like a mind of their own. They're
Hmm.
not just like they're not just like power granting objects that the stars tend to be. At least power
Yeah.
stars tend to be. So,
So we had a lot of criticisms. It's
mm,
probably there's the most criticisms that you can list for this game probably than most of the other 3D Mario games.
mm.
It's easy to point to them. They're more obvious. Ultimately, I have a lot of fun with it every time I play. But it's like,
It's still infectiously fun though.
yeah,
Even kind of some of the annoying bits and pieces is like you can still power through that, and it's not going to take you too long. And
there's some
there's
charm
still a
to
lot.
the scuffed
Yeah,
nature.
there's some charm still to be had there. I mean, the game just oozes charm out the wazoo as well. Like just
Yeah.
interacting with the different Piantas just themselves are just very funny. This time around, I was keeping track of the saga between the two arguing Piantas,
Mm-hmm.
and even by the very end, they're still like fighting. Like even when the village is flooded, they're still like back to back away from each other on the top of a roof, and they like blaming each other for it. And I'm like, this is wonderful. It's like
Yeah.
I was like, it's very very minute NPC interactions that you have in this game, but that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun little thing.
Oh, and how about the area where you can just go in and fuck up boxes and like you just got Or
Yeah.
he's got boxes for no reason that
Yeah.
inexplicably will just let you ground pound to your heart's
Yeah,
content.
destroy my boxes and I'll give you a shine sprite. Why it's like, hold on, why are you keeping that shine sprite hostage? Isn't the whole point that you're supposed to be
Yeah, a lot of weird underhanded stuff going on in here.
Yeah.
And you can go into the sewers,
Mm.
go around,
Ba-da-ba-dum, bum,
pump
bum,
up the
bum, bum.
manhole. All right. Well, shall we give a final score?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Flip. 8.
It's a very charming game though. Because I was playing it while I was in Virginia, and my mom was like, like, oh, I like this game. She remembered watching my older brother and me play it growing
Yeah.
up. So yeah, it's,
Yeah, it's probably the thing I've had the most individual critiques of. It also get an
mhm.
8
Yeah,
because it's also I know the game so well, like the
yeah,
back of my hand. There's so many I could pinpoint all the specific things that people have commonly pointed out. The
hmm
levels that suck, the mechanics that aren't so great, and
yeah. It's tough. It's tough to be too hard on it, but you can't ignore its faults either at the same time.
yeah,
Even if it is sort of what gives it a little bit of its charm. It's in spite of everything, it still does a lot right. It's still a genuinely fun game to play, um, in spite of its flaws. And I think a lot of that just does have to, it really does come down to like setting, vibes, and the fun. Flood is just really fun to control in general. Like
yeah.
going around and spraying that thing, a lot of fun.
So that's a Tarqaron score of 7.75.
Hmm
Yeah, I conceded and gave it a lesser score than Mario 64. Was Mario 64 I think is just better for its time that it came out than Super Mario
hmm
Sunshine was for its time
Yeah,
and the
I think
precedence.
I think the I think the Mario 64 has a lot of options in terms of its like stuff to engage with. So there's like whole things that you never ever have to use in Mario 64, and I think they do still kind of have that amount of variety in this game too with Flood, all the different sort of things you can do with Flood that you don't really ever have to engage with. Like you never have to do that spin thing. You never have to do the flip that sprays tons of water in front of you. But you have a lot at your disposal that is that the game sort of encourages you to experiment with a little bit while you're trying to do everything.
Yeah.
And um, yeah, I mean, I think that's to its credit. In spite of its kind of unpolished at times nature.
Yeah, now
um,
full disclosure, we're going through the 3D Mario games, so each time we play them, we'll be given a fresh look at it. But personally, I'm thinking going into it that at least 3D Land, I would say, is worse than this game.
yeah,
Mario 64 DS, I don't really know. It
yeah, I've never played it really.
doesn't sound like ideal to me for some
Yeah,
reason. But
yeah,
um, we'll see. That's I only dabbled in that, so that'll be pretty new for me.
yeah. It's gonna be mostly fresh because I think the most I've really played that game was like the DS kiosks, like demos when the DS was still being like it was still like the fat DS at the like Walmart kiosks and stuff. And I played some of the mini games on a friend's DS, and that's the most of that game that I've really played. So
Mm. But we'll see. Then we've
yeah,
got the rest are like the cream of the crop to me, like
yeah,
stellar
yeah.
game.
There's a lot of stellar games coming up.
So
Pun not intended. So
it'll be interesting to see how many we can get through this year. Could we finish them
mm,
all? That would be
might be able to
quite an
give it a
accomplishment.
give it a shot.
I don't know how many we
You,
have left. Mario 64 DS,
yeah, Galaxy,
Galaxy,
Galaxy
Galaxy
Two,
2, 3D Land, 3D World,
3D World,
Odyssey,
Bowser's
Bowser's
Fury.
Fury. Is that all of them?
Yeah,
7 more?
we have 7 more. It's entirely possible to do it.
We got 11 months, so 7
Yeah.
out of those 11 we'd have to be
Hmm.
on. We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Mario 64 DS is next.
Hmm.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a kind of a new sort of experience. So.
Yeah, then maybe we can dabble. There's something else we can do. Other games. It's like games like this are perfectly suited for actually going through the series.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Big time.
these
Yeah.
ones we have them all, so it's easier. That's why I was saying like it would be fun to do like the Mario parties or the Mario sports games, but we
Hmm.
don't necessarily have all of them. So
Yeah.
they're harder to. That would be harder to do.
Yeah. The Mario parties, especially because the GameCube ones go for mint.
Hmm.
So, as all GameCube tends to these
Yeah,
days.
I was lucky to get them.
Yeah.
So it's like those would be fun. Those would be really fun to be able to go through.
Yeah. It would be.
But we'd have to find another series that we both have, like all of them or most of them,
Mm.
that are more easily palatable and with time constraints.
Right.
But yeah, stay tuned for the channel. We have a lot more coming up. We got more end of the year stuff, wrapping up all of our thoughts on last year and going into the new year. We got more reviews, more discussions, shenanigans, everything you come to expect.
Absolutely.
Right here, every week on the channel. All right. If you
Yeah.
enjoyed this video, why don't you go check out our review of 12 minutes.
Yes. There's a lot of similarities.
There's a lot of
between,
overlap between Mario Sunshine fans and 12 Minutes fans.
Yeah.
Are there
Are
12
there
Minutes
12
fans?
Yeah, that was my first question. Are there 12 minutes fans? I don't know.
Sometimes you blink and you forget the game exists, and then it comes
Yeah,
back in a
that's,
flash.
yeah. You're just like, oh yeah, that's right. Willem Dafoe. What?
Incest. Ah.
Yeah.
All right, check it out.
Mhm.
And subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Like the video. Leave a comment letting us know your thoughts. Until next time.
Until next time.
Wahoo, yippee.
Yoo-hoo! Wahee!